So we're going to start our cultural interview. I'm just going to be discussing like food, culture questions with you. So what is your name?
My name is Alena.
Where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Belarus, which is a country in Europe now, but before it was part of the Soviet Union. It was one of the 15 countries of Soviet Union, so basically we share traditions and cultural background with Russia and language too. So let's call it Russia.
Okay. When did you move to the United States?
I moved to the United States 11 years ago when I was 19. So I spent 1/3 of my life here already.
Can you share something about how you moved to the US?
Back home, I was a student of Linguistic University. So I was majoring in English and Turkish languages. And English was my first language and Turkish was my second. So over there we had exchange programs with different countries. So if I major in English, so we had exchange programs with United States or Great Britain. So as a student, I applied to participate in these programs. And after my second year of studies, I came to the United States, to Minnesota, for 3 months. I was working in camp, and then I went back to my country, continue my studies in the university, and then after my third year of university, I came back here, again only for summer, but I never left the country. I stayed here.
How did you feel at the time of moving?
Actually, I felt very excited because first time when I came to the United States, I didn't know anybody here, so it was just like a summer program. All students were coming from all around the world to different camps, to different workplaces to work. So I was excited to go to the country that I learned so much about because I was majoring in English, as I said, so I learned history of the United States, culture, geographics, politics, everything. So I wanted to learn more of the English language and to see myself, the country that I know so much about. So I was very excited to come. Yeah.
Can you share some of your favorite food memories growing up?
Some of my favorite food memories. Let's say I remember mostly like weekends and breakfast time. That was my favorite food memory. Waking up in the morning and smelling potato pancakes that my mom was cooking. Nobody ever did it for me since I moved to the United States.
Aww.
Yeah. And also, what else? Some holidays that we celebrate specifically. Like here, you guys don't celebrate New Year as much. For us over there, it's a big holiday and it's a big food celebration, I would say, because over there we believe that the way you meet New Year, the way you're gonna spend the whole New Year. So it's very important to meet the new year dressed nice, having all your family around you, having a lot of food in front of you. So you're gonna make sure that that's how you're gonna spend your year among your friends and family, with nice health and with a lot of food. So yeah, the smell of New Year food table is a good memory too.
Can you share with me some of the recipes or food that you would have on New Year's?
Yeah, like one of the traditional food I would say is Olivier salad. So basically, this salad has French name of I think the cook who invented it. I would say I don't even know myself, but the name of the salad is Olivier. So basic ingredients are hard-boiled eggs with peas and sausage and pickles. And basically, that's it. You mixed everything up with mayonnaise. If you're lucky to have some fresh tomatoes, which in Russia we usually don't have during winter, you can add some freshness to your salad. But that's basically it. Like that's every single family for New Year would have this salad on the table. And not only New Year, actually, every celebration goes with this salad. It's like a traditional salad for celebration. And what else? Other dishes like cutlets, chicken legs, potatoes is a big thing. In Russia, actually, they eat potatoes and pasta, but in Belarus, we're mostly potato eaters. 3 times a day would be potatoes.
Wow.
Potato pancakes, let's say, for breakfast, mashed potato for lunch, and let's say baked potato for dinner. It's all about potatoes.
Can you tell me about some of the other local foods that you grew up with besides potatoes?
Um, for us, actually, it's like another thing that is specific for my country is, let's start from the weather. It's basically colder, much colder than in New York. We have summer, which is like June, July only. In August, it already starts raining. In September, it's getting colder. So the fresh fruits and vegetables are available only like for 2-3 months of the year. The rest of the season, you need to make sure you still have your vegetables available, you still have your fruits available. So we do pickling a lot. We pickle fruits and vegetables for winter. So if you go to the Russian store here, you'll find pickled watermelon, pickled apples, like all kind of foods that people usually don't even think about of being pickled, especially fruit, and of course pickles like vegetables, pickled cucumbers, tomatoes, all the food is pickled. So basically in summer we have fresh fruit. Here in New York, fresh fruit is available all the year round. Over there it's only 2 or 3 months we use fresh fruits and vegetables, and then everything is like cabbage also we pickle. What else? I think that's one of the another like remarkable part of our culture is preserving food for winter.
Can you share some of your favorite dishes that you had growing up? Maybe some of your favorite dishes with the pickled vegetables?
Actually, for me, it's not my favorite because I was so tired of this pickled vegetables. 10 months of the calendar year, basically, you eat pickled food, and then 2 months you eat fresh. But one of my favorite dishes is potato pancakes, that's for sure. So, again, the recipe is very simple. You just take potato, grate it, and add egg and some flour, and that's it. And you just make pancakes. And also, Olivia salad is also my favorite food because for me, it symbolizes holidays, celebration. It's so festive. And cutlets also. Actually, another part of my culture, we don't eat meat that much. It's not that people don't like meat or something, but it's just, I would say it's kind of expensive, and we're not buying that much meat. We just mostly rely on the food that we grow. So meat is also mostly available for holidays or for special events. So basically it's like a festive food too, like to have chicken cutlet on your table. It's not an everyday thing. So yeah, that's one of my favorite dishes too. Oh, and desserts, of course. Here I brought some dessert with me. We call it zephyr. It's like similar to marshmallows, but it's like, I guess it's sweeter. And also we have one of the favorite and famous dessert is halva. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, I've never heard of that.
Never heard of it. So basically this we kind of adopted from Southern European countries, like from Turkey and Greece, but they have halva made with nuts. Ours is made from sunflower seeds. It's like sunflower seeds grind with some oil, some sugar. It's very, very sweet too, but it's different from Greek or Turkish halva. So that's also very popular dessert.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah, next time I'll bring to you.
Thank you. Can you tell me about the meal times in your house growing up?
The meal times, Actually, it's also a little bit different from the ones that I have now, because there, what we do basically, breakfast is, wouldn't say the biggest meal of the day, but it's very caloric meal. So we eat for breakfast. It's not light. It's not like cereal and milk or oatmeal and a piece of toast with jelly. No, it's like a real meal. Let's say potatoes with eggs, or a salad with pasta or something like this. Like it's real meal. And then lunch is like second big meal of the day, like soup, and then main course. Basically, like United States, you have dinner with soup and like 2 3 dishes. For us, it's like lunch. And dinner is the lightest meal of the day. For dinner, we can have oatmeal or cereal with milk or a piece of toast with tea. It's like completely reverse. Basically, what we do, we kind of we have a saying: eat breakfast yourself, share lunch with your friend, and give dinner to your enemy. So that's how it works basically. Most of the calories we need to consume for breakfast. Then for lunch, it's like middle of the day, so kind of half and half. And for dinner, you just give it to somebody else basically, or eat something light before you go to sleep. So it's a little bit different from here.
So, how do you think your food culture growing up has shaped your current food culture here in New York?
Okay, so actually, I adopted American food culture easily because ingredients are very similar to what we have there, except for here, fresh food availability is much better, and you can prepare fresh food, fresh fruit salad, whatever, fresh soup any time of the day. But basically, it's not that much different, except for like also here you eat guys a lot of rice and pasta. We mostly rely on potatoes, and potatoes here is much more expensive than back home because it's not that popular food, I guess. But everything I can find in the stores, I can cook whatever I want from my culture because all the ingredients are the same. It just it's not sold ready made. I have to prepare it myself, but the ingredients are there. It's available.
So, can you share some of the new foods that you've incorporated into your food choices here in the U.S. Besides just, I guess, the fresh ingredients?
Another thing, actually, what's remarkable about Belarus, we don't have water. So the country is an inland, and we're not surrounded by water of any kind. We have rivers, but we don't have any ocean or sea or anything like this. So basically, we don't have seafood per se. Like you can buy a fish or something, but the price it would be like so ridiculous that you can have it like twice a year probably. Before I came to New York, to the United States, I never even heard about shrimp, about scallops, about all this seafood, lobsters, crabs, whatever, you know. So when I came here and I tried all this, of course, it tastes good. I like it. So now I cook a lot of seafood, something that I've never done before. I never even liked seafood because it wasn't something that I was exposed to since childhood. That's very new to me, and I really like it, and I enjoy it, and I know about health benefits of seafood. That's very good here.
So, can you tell me about any special like food rituals or manners that were common in your culture growing up?
About food manners. Okay, so I I was talking to you about New Year, right? About the table, how we decorate the table. So another ritual, I would say, following New Year, we have a very big celebration. We call it Maslenitsa. Basically, again, going back to Russian weather and climate, we have a long winter. So the end of the winter is a very big celebration for people because sometimes it snows since October, since November, we have snow until March. So the last Sunday of February is the celebration of end of winter and beginning of spring. And people really take it seriously, this celebration. People go outside and bake pancakes. So this day, whenever you go, it's like a whole carnival going on. People dance, play, joke, but everybody have to eat pancakes. Pancakes are sold in the street, with butter, not with jelly, not with sour cream or something. It should be pancakes with butter, basically, kind of telling the nature that we're tired of winter, snow has to melt, and we want spring. So that's very traditional for us to celebrate this holiday. And then what else? Another tradition, I would say, about Easter, following Maslenitsa, the celebration of spring, comes Easter. Also, I'm a Russian Orthodox, so what we do in our church, we decorate eggs. We paint eggs red color. Like again, here also I notice you guys celebrate Easter, but the eggs are of different colors. They can be blue, they can be with some kind of decorations. We don't do that. Egg should be red color, symbol of blood. Um, and another thing that we eat for Easter is kulich. That's a special bread we bake. Also, again, everywhere in the street, in the church, you can buy this special bread, kulich. It's like now sometimes they put raisins in there, and it's covered with the sprinkles. So basically, when you go to the church, you bring these eggs and kulich to celebrate. So, and also kulich is exclusively for Easter. Never again you can find kulich in the store, only on Easter time. It's like a special type of bread. So basically that's it for.
Can you tell me about how you celebrate these holidays in your house now?
Okay, so for New Year, now it's a little different because here in the United States, everybody celebrates Christmas, which is December 25th, which is like 1 year before New Year. So I adapted a little bit already to new culture, and we celebrate Christmas too. My kids are Catholics, so we celebrate Christmas on the 25th. And by the time New Year comes, we still have some of the food left over from Christmas. But for me, it's still a big holiday. So although kids go to sleep at this time, but I put the table, I put the food out. I always prepare olivia salad for New Year, champagne, all the foods that used to prepare back home with meat. For me, still, it symbolizes kind of the way you meet New Year, the way you're gonna spend it. So it has to be a rich table with lots of food there available. And then the same thing for Easter. I still celebrate Easter the same way. Every time I buy eggs, and actually the way we paint eggs, it's not a paint. We don't buy paint. We collect um, not shells, like skin from onion. What do you call it? Shell or skin?
I don't know, just like the outer part of an onion,
Right, outer
like
part.
like a red onion.
Right.
Okay.
So you collect it for like a month usually in big bag, and then when you're ready to paint your eggs, you just put everything in the water, boil this skin for like 10 minutes. The onion releases the color, and then you drop the eggs there, and you boil eggs for 10 minutes, and you take them out, and they're gonna be red. So basically, the more onion you put in there, the redder the color of your eggs. And when you go to the church, so the priest can put holy water on your food. Basically, the redder the eggs, the prouder you feel yourself in the church. So even although here you can basically buy paint and paint the eggs of different colors, and you can actually buy already painted eggs, I still gather this shell from the onions. I paint my own eggs. I try to do them the redder the possible, So for me, it's like my own way of remembering my traditions, and I really like it, and I don't want to give up on it. I really enjoy doing it. Yeah. So
So, can you share something about how the younger generations will maintain this food culture, your food culture?
okay, speaking about younger generations, I guess I will speak about my children. So yeah, they know that their mom is from Russia, and let's say, even though, as I said, let's say for Easter, now it's Easter time coming, they know they're Catholics, and in their father's culture, they don't paint the eggs, and he takes them to Catholic church. But after Catholic church, I always take them to my church, and they see me painting the eggs. And on Easter morning, actually, there is also a special tradition how we start Easter morning. So first, you have to wash your face 3 times with water, making sure you're clean, making sure you start a new kind of year. And then the first food you put in your mouth is egg. This egg that you painted before, that you took to the church to be, so the priest put holy water. So that's what my kids also start Easter morning from egg, and my husband too. Although in their culture, it's not the way they do. They don't eat eggs. They don't paint them. But for my kids, Easter is associated with having eggs in the morning, and the egg should be boiled with no salt, nothing, no salt, no mayo, until you finish your egg, and then you can start eating other food. So I don't know if they grow and they're gonna continue this tradition, because it's not their religion per se, but at least they know how their mom did it. Yeah, and then this Olivier salad that I was talking about, also every time my kids have birthday, or I have birthday, or my husband, I make sure there is Olivier salad on the table. Although I cook it more often, sometimes even without holidays, but every holiday this salad is on the table. And for my kids also, now I think it symbolizes a festive mood, a celebration of some sort, so they know it's
Aww.
holiday.
So, are there any, can you tell me about any foods that can take your thoughts right back to your home country?
Any foods? Actually, let's say pickled food. Every time, especially pickled cabbage, when sauerkraut, right? You call it here. It tastes actually different, because sauerkraut is like really sour and fermented a lot. Our cabbage, when we pickle it, is more pickled, not so much fermented, I would say. And every time I go to the restaurant and let's say it's hot dog and they ask me if I want sauerkraut, I said no. Because although it reminds me of my country, but I was so tired of sauerkraut, eating it 10 months of my life for 19 years, almost every day. So this kind of food, I'm not saying it's a negative experience, but something that I don't want to try again. But the good experience and something that brings me positive memories is potato pancakes. Again, whenever I cook potato pancakes, or if I go to Russian restaurant, the first thing I'm looking at the menu is if they have potato pancakes. And sometimes they do, but the style is different. I think the ingredients are different, or maybe they buy them frozen, so they taste different. But somehow, like, it's just my thing. When I open the menu, I'm looking for potato pancakes in it. Yeah, so
So, can you tell me just a little bit more about the potato pancakes and exactly, how the ingredients are prepared and how it's put together?
so basically, it's very simple to do. It takes like 5 minutes, probably maybe 10. Grate potato, add little salt, 1 egg. Depends how many potatoes. If it's 3 big potatoes, you can use 2 eggs. And then again, if you want more of the pancakes, you can add some flour to it. If not, you don't add any flour, so just potato and eggs and salt. And because potato has starch that turns dark in the light, you can put some onion so it doesn't turn dark. So it's gonna stay like kind of greenish color. And that's it. And you put some oil on the frying pan and fry them. And we eat usually with sour cream, potato pancakes and sour cream. And some people eat can eat with, especially like in countryside. What people do, they put some pork fat, they fried pork fat, put some onion, chopped onion into it and kind of fry it together, onion and pork fat, and then pour over the potato pancakes. So it gets kind of more calories, more fat. And let's say if you go outside to work and you eat this for breakfast, you will be full until at least 3 o'clock in the afternoon because you ate so much calories with all this pork fat. But usually, for me personally, I like better with sour cream. I'm not a fan of eating pork fat with potato pancakes, but it's one of the. And also, another way to cook them, when you put potato pancakes on the frying pan, you can put some meat on it and cover it with another potato pancake. So it kind of makes it like a meat filling inside. So you fry it from both sides and the meat is inside. But again, because we don't eat so much meat back home and it's not so common for me, again, meat is associated mostly with holidays. It's not the everyday food. So usually we eat this kind of potato pancakes maybe once a year when it's like a celebration or special guests are coming. So we just cook with meat, but usual every day, just potato pancakes plain, no meat there.
So,
Yeah.
so can you take me through one of these typical breakfasts with the potato pancakes and, just whatever else you might eat too?
For if you eat potato pancakes, usually it's like, as I said, just potato pancakes and sour cream. We also eat usual regular pancakes like here with flour, but most of the time it's just plain potato pancakes with sour cream, let's say a cup of tea or milk or something like this to drink. And it's not only breakfast food actually. Like for me, my memory just brings me back to breakfast, but we usually eat it for dinner too, for lunch, for any time of the day. And another food actually I remember now, it, also like it's more traditional for Russian culture, but again because we were together almost 80 years with Russia, so we share this tradition with them. Potato pancakes is more Belarusian culture, my homeland. So for Russian culture, they eat a lot of pelmeni. This is kind of food. If in America you guys have like meat ravioli or something like in Chinese like dumplings,
Oh, okay.
something like this. But it's like similar, but it's not the same. So basically, if you make it yourself, you just put like water and flour, and you make like a dough, and then you make like a round circles, and then you put some meat in the circles, and then you kind of cover them and boil in water. So it's also like another traditional dish. But again, because it's meat involved, it's not an everyday food. Like back in my memories, we used to cook this maybe like once a month on Sunday when all families together. So we want to kind of have a rest, have it together with family. So we'll cook some special dish, which would be this pelmeni. It's not easy to cook because it's very like labor involved. Plus, if you prepare your own meat, which we usually do, we don't buy like ground meat. We have most people have their own animals, let's say pork, chicken. So in order to get meat, you have to kill the animal. You have to like cut meat in pieces. Then you have to grind it on your own. Then you have to add spices. You have to add salt there. So just preparation of meat. I'm not talking now about killing the animal. Let's say it's already killed. Just preparation of meat will take you like an hour or something. Then the whole preparation of the whole dish will take you another hour. So it's like 2 hours work. So it's very labor involved kind of dish. Like opposed to here, let's say when I want to cook pelmeni here, I just go to the store, I buy ground beef. It just takes me 20 minutes, half an hour to prepare because meat is already prepared. So it's much easier, of course.
Wow, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about these cookies? how these are prepared?
Okay. So this one actually, it's from the store. I don't even think we can prepare it on without store. But basic ingredients are, I think, sugar and egg whites, something like this, and it's commercially processed, like in some way, and they come in different. Like originally they were white, like this, white and round and sweet, but they also come like chocolate covered, and now they make them different colors, like pink, yellow. They put coconut on them, so they're like different flavors now. But again, it's like modern techniques. It wasn't like this in my childhood. It was just white. And actually, dessert is a whole another topic. It's we have our desserts. Like I noticed in comparison to American desserts, are much sweeter, very sweet, like very sugary desserts. Here it's mostly like cakes, cookies, I would say, or like souffle, puddings. Ours is not. It's just like sugar there. I think again because of the preservative, like we use salt and pickling for preserving vegetables. So maybe they use sugar in some way to make it like for desserts. I'm not sure about it. And another thing actually that came to my mind now is apple pie. So when I came to the United States, the first somewhere like I get to try apple pie, and they brought me the apple pie with the way pie looks, right? Like apples inside, and I'm like, what is this? Because for us, apple pie is completely different thing. Basically, it's like a cake with apples. It's also like very popular traditional dessert, and the way we make it, it just you put 2 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, you mix everything together, you put some flour in it, you take 3 apples, cut them very small, mix everything together, and put in the oven. So it comes up like apple bread, I would say. That's for me apple pie. So when I got this American style apple pie with ice cream on top, I was like very surprised. And for me, it's like very. Now I'm used to it, like having all this apple filling inside, and I like ice cream on top. But first time, I was like shocked because it's very different definition of apple pie in my country, and in the United States, it's completely different. Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about when you would eat apple pie? Is it associated with anything?
It's also like very common dessert because it's easy to make. Basically, in my country, we don't buy food outside. That's another thing. We cook at home. It's not common to go, let's say, and see all these carts selling hot dogs or gyros or whatever, or deli stores where you can buy sandwiches. Nothing like this. You go to the store to buy sour cream, to buy flour, to buy eggs, to buy raw ingredients, and then you cook at home. So apple pie is easy to make. So that's why, let's say somebody calling you, oh, I'm coming in like half an hour. So your only basically fast and quick option if you have apples available is apple pie. Basically put everything together, you mix eggs, flour, sugar, apples, you put in the oven, half an hour, you take out the pie. So it's very, very easy to make. And it's not that sweet, it's not that expensive to make, so it's very, very common. And every person, every Russian woman, if you ask her how to make apple pie, will give you ingredients from the top of her head. It's so common. Nobody even need like a book to see how to prepare it. Same like draniki, like potato pancakes. That's our word for it, draniki. Also, like from the top of the head, everybody can tell you how to make them. It's so common.
So speaking of apples, can you tell me about the common fruits that you would eat during the summer or during the season to eat fruits?
Mm. So basically, us we eat a lot of berries there, like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and because hot season starts like in May, let's say May 20th. So June is like this, June and July, that's when we get all this fresh stuff. Many berries, apples, pears, I would say plums, apricots. That's the most popular. We don't have peaches, we don't have bananas, mangoes, papayas, nothing like this. The first time I tried mango actually when I came to the United States, and I was 19. Again, that was my first ever time when I saw mango in my life. And with fruit again, because we have only 2 months to enjoy fresh fruit, so we preserve them too. So what we do, we buy. My family grow fruit. We have apple trees. We have the whole field of strawberries. So when we pick them, of course you can't eat a lot of it, and it goes bad after a couple of days if you don't use it. So we clean it. We put sugar, and we make like kind of preservatives for summer. I mean for winter. And let's say with cherry, we put a lot of sugar so it can ferment. We put some alcohol to make wine. So everything goes into into food actually. Good cherries go to make like juice or make some jelly, some kind of things. Bad cherries that have some spoilage or something goes to wine. So everything, nothing is wasted. Use everything. Same like vegetables, let's say. Good cucumbers or good tomatoes go into, we make them whole, we pickle them whole. So when winter comes, we can make some dishes out of them. If the tomato is a little spoiled, so we cut the spoiled part and we make salad. So again, preserved salad. We make salad and put them in the canning, basically, like in the, what is it called, jars.
Yeah,
And
jars.
we make some special salads, different recipes, separate salad for cucumbers, separate recipes for cabbage, and different. So basically, when October comes, there is nothing fresh left, but in our basements we have all these jars, big and small, of salads, of preservatives, of pickled cabbage. Everything's prepared for winter, and that's how we survive the whole winter on this preserved food.
So, can you tell me a little bit about what you miss most about your food culture?
About my food culture, I miss actually the whole idea of making food at home. Even after 11 years here, I still cook my own food, but because of hectic life in the United States, sometimes we buy food outside. We buy Chinese food, we buy Mexican food, we buy American food. Even, let's say, sometimes we go to McDonald's and buy McDonald's food. And every time I go there, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Why I'm buying food if I can cook it? It's so simple to cook. It's something that every woman has to do, has to know how to do, and it's very, I would say, cleaner or something when you cook food at home. You know what ingredients are there. You know that it was fresh to begin with, and it's not spoiled. It's not chemically processed or whatever. Although I eat now food from outside, but for me it's very weird still, and I miss this whole idea of making food, preparing it on everyday basis. And actually, another thing, when I came to the United States, I was working as a waitress in a restaurant, and a lot of people were asking me, "Do you know how to cook? Do you know how to cook?" Like kind of in a joking way, and I was like, "What do you mean? Do I know how to cook? How you will survive if you don't know how to cook?" For me, it was like a very weird question because we cook. I was cooking since I was 7. I was coming back from school. I would prepare my own fried eggs. I would heat up potatoes since I was 7 years old. Then, when I was 10, I was making soups and I was making other food for the family. So for me, question, can you cook? It was very weird question. Yeah, and I remember actually, because you were asking before about fruits, I will tell you my first experience with eating mango. It's another whole story. So basically, our fruit, what we do, mostly it's like apples, plums, apricots. So you know these fruits, you just wash them, you take them and you eat them. So that's what I did with mango. I washed it, I took it and I tried to eat it. And then I realized something is wrong. I cannot just eat the fruit. It's like too hard. So my next thought was, okay, with apple, if I don't like it, I can eat half of it. So I decided to cut mango in half to eat half today or something to try maybe from inside. I was trying to cut it and it wouldn't cut. I had no idea there is a pit inside. I had no idea that you have to peel the skin of mango to eat it, because our fruit is just you take it and eat it. And I was 19 years old. I had never had idea how to eat mango. Yeah.
So, um, can you tell me a little bit about how I think we've covered just about everything.
Let's try dessert and see if you like it.
Okay.
Tell me what it reminds you of. Does it look like marshmallows?
It does look like marshmallows.
It does?
It is very, very sweet. Is this powdered sugar?
Mm-hmm. That's actually another thing we use for decoration of dessert. Like we don't have sprinkles. Now they do, but when I was smaller, as I said, everything is homemade. You cannot make sprinkles at home, or let's say chocolate chip cookies or something like this. You cannot, I mean, chocolate chips like to decorate. So, but powdered sugar, it's easy. You just put sugar in the special machine. You turn it on, and the sugar becomes powder. So everything, let's say, if you make cookies, we'll put some sugar powder on it. If we make some kind of pie, cake, you can put powdered sugar to decorate it a little bit. And we use fruit for decorations a lot, like everything like natural, everything homemade, everything grown
that
up.
Sounds great.
Yeah, nothing like here. I remember when I was in Minnesota, my first trip to the United States, and one Russian girl who lived there for like 10 years, she was making a cake. She was there already 10 years. I was there like 10 days only. So she bought this pack, like cake mix or something, with frosting, with some sprinkles. And she's like, okay, let's make cake. And I'm sitting in her home looking at her. I'm like, what is this? I never saw anything like this in my life. And I was surprised because for me, to make a cake, you need flour, you need eggs, you need sugar. You mix everything together, you put cake inside, then you cut it in half. Then in order to make cream for the cake, usually it's either condensed milk and butter mixed, or it's sour cream and sugar mixed. That's how you cover your cake with. Or if you want to make chocolate, you just put some milk, some cocoa, some sugar, and some butter. You mix everything. You leave it on the on the stove for like 5 minutes until it gets thick. That's your chocolate. I had no idea that you just can go to the store, buy cake mix, buy chocolate, and make a cake within like 20 minutes without even putting any effort to it. For me, it was like a completely different experience to make cake, which is like basically made already for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the United States has a vastly different food culture.
Right. Even the food that supposedly you make yourself, but it is already pre-made for you, so you spend like what 25% of effort to make this cake, let's say, as opposed to for us, you just start from scratch, really from scratch. Even chocolate, That's why I remember all these recipes on top of my head, because it's, for me, it's like not everyday thing, but once a week, let's say, we will make a cake or some cookies. So every week, if you do something, you just remember it easily. Right, but here it's just, even like myself, I'm getting lazy now. I'm buying desserts instead of making them. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really, really interesting getting to know your culture. I really did not know very much about it, so
I hope you
definitely.
visit one day.
I hope so too. Apparently, everybody can cook, so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.